Hi, my name is Kira, and this is Kira of All Trades on Phresh Phactory TV. Today's topic is careers in the beauty business, and I just want to jump in and explain some things that I do know before we get to some things that I still have questions about. So anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on any other platform, send me an email. Sign up and get an interview. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about your career. Let's talk about whatever it is that you want to do that's going to make you financially stable and help you move forward. So, today's episode of Careers in the Beauty Business is inspired by my braids. Inspired by my braids. If you've seen this show more than one time, you will know that I love braids. It's like my thing. Having braids is a thing that allows me to have a little bit more flexibility with the type of hairstyles that I wear. And then for a person like me that has such a weird travel schedule, it's always good to be able to have something that's gonna go where I go, right? So there's things that I love about having braids, but there's also a business behind it. I found a braider that I liked, and I just stuck with her over the years and basically moved our relationship from just having an interaction with her into being an integral part of the management of the business. So if you're in the Houston area and you're interested in getting braids, then please feel free to reach out. The website will be below. We're actually about to start taking on beauty businesses. So I'll give you a little bit of background about what we've done. So far what we've done is take over the customer service portion and the appointment setting for the business. What I noticed is that it takes her a ton of time to talk to people over the phone. They're looking at pictures. They're trying to figure out what kind of hair. They're saying, oh, well, I got to cancel, and they're changing and doing all these kinds of things. So with the management of those aspects taken care of by a team from Phresh Phactory Inc., it just allows her to really streamline the business. So if you have a beauty business, if you are a barber, if you are a beautician, if you have a nail business, if you do lashes, any of those things, Phresh Phactory Inc. would be glad to assist your business in the streamlining process of making sure that all of those aspects are taken care of so that you can focus on the thing that you do, which is provide the service to the customer. So please, again, if you're interested, please feel free to go to the website. It's www.freshphactory.com. Please hit the top button that says to book an appointment. Please make sure that you select a time and a date and hit submit so that your appointment is actually set and it will come to our schedule. All right, so careers in the beauty business. There are tons of careers in the beauty business. We've already talked about a couple, and I think what I see mostly is that people who have careers in the beauty business have been able to take their lives and fast forward them financially. That's always what I'm thinking about. I think about there being different levels of careers that you can have. Some that require lots of education, some that require lots of specific knowledge, some that require college degrees, etc. And one thing about the beauty business is, for many or majority, the entry to become each of those careers is just time and dedication to that craft. There's not many careers that require a college degree, but mostly that I know about in the cosmetology and barber realm require you to, one, take an exam that shows that either the training will help you or to show that you have either a GED or a high school diploma. Those are the basics, right? So now I just want to split it off into each of the careers that I feel are really going to be impactful to individuals and talk about how they are in our current market. So, of course, I want to start with the braiders, right? So, braiding is something that's been done for hundreds of years, thousands of years, right? Cleopatra and Nefertiti had braids way back in the pyramid days, right? So what we do know is that it is something that's been passed on. Those skills have been passed on through generations, and people have those skills and they can also learn them. So probably some years ago when I first had a deeper interaction with my braider, I looked up all of the rules and regulations for my state. And of course, disclaimer, please look all of these things up for your own state and determine what you need to do for where you are located. But I looked up the rules and regulations for my state. And what I found out was there were many of the same requirements for a braider as they were for any other cosmetologist. You needed to have a license, and you needed to be able to pass an exam, and those were the basics. Fast forward into now, my state does not require a braider to have a license. But the caveats are a braider cannot use any glues or gels or any of these, maybe gel, right? They can't use any glues or any kind of chemicals or anything like that in their process. It has to be pretty much an organic process in order for them to fall within the area that does not require licensing. But I don't think that back in the day they were using any chemicals either, so that makes perfect sense. So for a person who is interested in starting a business within a certain realm or having a career within a certain realm that doesn't require licensing, or that is basically, I won't call it easy to start because you need to know how to braid, but that has a low barrier of entry, it sounds like braiding is one of those careers that you can take baby steps in to grow your experience and then actually become experienced, become profitable, and have a long-lasting career without so much of a barrier of entry. I'm very interested in those kinds of careers because that keeps people who maybe don't have all the resources necessary to have like a large undertaking to begin with, that allows them to have an opportunity to get started. So the first career in the beauty business that we've discussed today are braiders. Awesome. So the next career that we're going to discuss requires a little bit or a lot of bit more education and time and licensing, etc. It is to be a cosmetologist. So cosmetologists are, it depends on where you're located and kind of like where you're from. So some people call them beauticians. Some people call them hairdressers, but you know the gal that does everyone's hair. So again, this is one of those careers that does require a license. It does require education, and it does require a high school diploma, or at least a GED, or passing a test that shows that if you do get the education, that you will be able to retain that knowledge. So again, please look in your local state to find out exactly what those requirements are. But this is a large undertaking. One thing that I have seen as far as the updates are concerned about cosmetologists are that the hours of school that are required in my state specifically is 1,000 hours. But I guess you have to think about it from the time period that you begin. So some of the caveats that the licensing or hours required to get a license include are the fact that a high school student can take 500 of the 1,000 hours that is required to get a cosmetologist license at their high school. So this really gives someone a boost that if they're ready to start their career and they know exactly what they're going to do, they can get started in high school and then take those skills with them. This is very, very beneficial if a parent is taking a look at the career possibilities for their kid who knows that, maybe college is not their thing. Maybe they have already shown interest in doing the neighbor's hair, doing the friend's hair, doing their own hair, etc. So they know that that's what they're going to end up doing. And maybe sometimes people and parents don't know that you can start those programs early and do half of those 1,000 hours in high school. So then you only have 500 hours left after you graduate. That's awesome. That means you are able to get all of those hours kick-started. So the second career in the beauty business we spoke about is a cosmetologist. So what I learned about those 1,000 hours in those cosmetology classes is that they're really broken down in a bunch of different directions. So you can take that cosmetology exam and you can get a license and you can take those 1,000 hours if that's what you so choose to do. So I want to go back to the scenario of a beautician, and let's talk about some ways that an individual can participate in the beauty business without too much fuss. Let's talk about that barrier to entry. So many years ago, my understanding was that one person had an interest in becoming a cosmetologist. They went to school, they got all those entry things done, right? Their high school diploma, or they showed their GED, or they took the test that says this education is going to help you. And then once they started school, they received a license for a person that was in cosmetology school, right? Now, what could you have done with that cosmetology in school license? You could go and do things like become the wash girl, or do things like become maybe like the secretary, or answer the phones, or things like that. Maybe a product manager to be able to count how many hair colors they have, etc. What I found out in doing my research prior to this episode, I found out that you no longer need a license to be the wash girl, which is awesome. See, in 2022, which is when this episode is being recorded, I have watched times change, and I've seen how the business of cosmetology changed financially as well. So maybe people were paying more at one time, maybe the cost of living was just less. But these days, when I see that someone is showing that they're available to, have new clients, etc., they tell you that you got to come already with your hair washed and prepared to receive the style that you're looking for. So how amazing would it be if someone who had an interest in making some kind of career change was allowed to go into a very popular beauty salon and was able to become the wash girl or boy or man or woman, and then those clients wouldn't have to come already prepared. That means that there would be another career inside of that business that would definitely help the cosmetologist or the beautician, because most definitely if they wanted to do it they would, but they're saying that they don't, which is why they're saying people have to come already washed and prepared, right? So if there was a shampoo girl, man, boy girl there already, then that would be really beneficial to the business. And I'm sure that the wash girl, man, boy, whatever, could charge whatever it is that they felt was appropriate to be able to start their career in a popular beauty salon. So most definitely, this is one of those things that's changed over time. So if a person is not necessarily looking at the licensing requirements every day and is up to date on everything, then maybe they would not have known that, and this is not something that they would be thinking about again. But yes, this career as a wash girl, which is basically a shampooer, conditioner, this kind of person, without a license being required, really lowers the barrier to entry and allows that to be a career that one could start. So that was the next career we were speaking about, which is the shampooer or the wash girl, or boy or man or woman. All right, next I really want to go back to the braiding salon because the braiding salon is a little bit different. So I was telling you how the beautician says, hey, you got to show up with your hair already washed and ready to go. All right. They have different kinds of like blowout bars that, you know, all they do is just blow out your hair and put the curls and do those kinds of things. So of course they wouldn't want to wash your hair and have those things ready. They would want for you to have those things ready because obviously they don't want to do that for the time that's required. But also, one of the things that I hear often with my braids, especially these, right? These are like all the way down there, right? These were difficult to braid. I mean, these are kind of one of those things where maybe normally I wouldn't go this far with these kind of long braids and that kind of stuff. But I love the drama of these. It's amazing. So one of the things that people say to me when I have like, especially these kind of dramatic braids and there's so many and they say, ooh, I couldn't sit down for that long. It's the first one that they say. And they also say, ooh, who is going to help you take those down? Now, being the enlightened person that I am, I always wondered why no one started a career as a braid taker downer. I don't know why no one ever thought of that. I don't know why there's no one who calls up every braider in town and says, hey, can I give you my card? Can I work with you to have a chair in your shop where all I do is take down braids before they get their hair done with you? And as I mentioned, there's no one who requires in this particular state that requires the shampoo person to even have a license. So that means you can take the braids down without a license. You can shampoo and condition the person's hair without a license, and then the person's ready to go for their hairstyle, and then they don't have to do it. So those are careers that I do know existed at one time, but I'm not exactly sure that they exist now. And those might be careers that will help someone get into the business to provide themselves some type of financial footing and, you know, provide people options. That's what this show is about. You know, there's careers in every industry, and all I want to do is make sure that I'm saying out loud some of the information that I know to get people's mind moving. You're not going to get a PhD from this show. What you're going to get is some basic information about things that I've observed, and hopefully it might make someone's mind move and think, oh, I might be interested in something like that, and then they can further go back and then do research and get in depth with exactly what is needed. This is Kira of all trades. So we're talking about all the trades that I can think of, all the careers that I can think of that might help the next person to be able to get their financial life together. All right, so next we have to talk about the barber. So we're talking about cosmetology school. I mean, they had to go to cosmetology school too. It's barber school. I had the best barber ever. Hey, my barber. Like, it's been a long time since I had a fade, but when I had my college cut, I used to have like strange men just walk up to me and like touch me on the back of my head, and like, you know, from far away I could just see that they were like about to walk towards me and just come and touch me on the side of my head. I mean, you know, men do whatever they feel appropriate. But yeah, like, barbers are the best. Barbers create an environment that has changed so much over time that there are really big openings there for a person who can assist the very, you know, important, busy barbers that are in your town to be able to speed things up a little bit. So every barber shop, every beauty shop ever has some outside services that allow people to get more than one thing there. I mean, from my experience, there's been like guys who wash your car while you're there getting your hair cut, and now as a barber who has like lots of clients, you can also do extra things like spa treatments and things like that, because those guys went to school as well. And if you have a cosmetology license, if you have a barber license, you can do some of those other things other than like specifically cutting hair. you can move into the treatment realm, and you can move into the relaxing spa realm. But at the base of it, it is being the best barber ever and making sure that all your clients are taken care of. And they're really like part-time psychologists. So, you know, every time somebody sits in their chair, they're like giving a life story, probably telling a whole bunch of lies, but that's not the point. The point is the barber is doing what they're asked to do. So another career in the beauty business is a barber. So both the beauty shop and the barber shop employ people who are underage. They're kids. You always see them. I mean, people grow up in the beauty business when their parents are beauticians or their father is a barber or whomever. All you see is kids in there sweeping up hair during the summertime or after school. So shouts out to all the kids that grew up in the barbershop, that grew up in the beauty salon, that were taking out the trash, that were sweeping up all the hair every day. I mean, we all have grown up with certain things, and it really becomes something that we are when we become adults. I grew up always working in like an independently owned business. I've seen so many things happen with entrepreneurs that of course I end up being an entrepreneur myself, but those things build character. So of course I didn't think of it at the time, but yes, everybody's kids who grew up in the barbershop or beauty shop who helped them sweep the floors and, you know, keep the place tidy, shouts out to you. All right, so next we have the nail tech. Nail techs are also people who have to go to cosmetology school, right? They have to get a license. You know, every time you go see the nail salon people, you see their little cute pictures up there with their license, and you know that they've gotten the education that they need in order to take care of you. So when you become a cosmetologist, you just are able to do certain things. There's a certificate for each program. Again, check your state and local licensing requirements for each thing, but there's some generalizations that I'm making about what is required with licenses, etc. But that's things that you need to check in your specific state. But part of the beauty business is to make your hands look good, because I'm standing here whiling my fingers in front of the screen, so all it takes is for somebody to be like, oh, you got a cracked fingernail, and then, you know, there's the comments. But the point of the matter is now people are becoming more comfortable, both men and women, going to the nail salon and making sure that their hands and feet both look nice. Nobody wants to see hammer toes with 14 different, you know, nails stacked on top of a man or a woman. Nobody wants to see, you know, 25 years worth of overgrown cuticles on anybody's hands. No one does. So the nail business is booming. There are acrylics, people who do natural nails, people who do little overlays, people who do crazy designs, people who just maintain your natural nail and make sure that they're healthy. Because even if this is not for any kind of, you know, I guess like maybe improvement in your looks, maybe all you want to do is just make sure what you have is healthy. So a little manicure, a pedicure, maybe you don't even need any polish. Maybe you just want to make sure everything is good and keep those overgrown nails from happening. That's something that's healthy, or ingrown nails from happening. So that's a healthy thing to do, and now people are more aware that those are things that are part of self-care. So, of course, the next career we talked about was nail technicians. Nail technicians take care of your hands and your feet, the nails that grow on them. Make sure that they stay healthy and clean and don't cause you any discomfort, because the ingrown nail can cause you discomfort. You know, 25 years worth of cuticles outgrowing its fingertips are very uncomfortable, and in general it's just very nice to be able to see yourself in the best light. So if all of your extremities are taken care of, then hopefully the interior is also as good. All right, so next, what you'll see here is that this face has some makeup and not that much. I don't wear foundation because I don't have any. So The next person we're going to talk about in this careers in the beauty business is a makeup artist. So a makeup artist's job is to enhance the beauty that you already have with different things like makeup, proper grooming, making sure that they have a good guidance on how to take care of your skin, etc. These are all the things that makeup artists do, but most importantly, they make you look good with the makeup. So yes, makeup artists are the next people. And I've always wondered why makeup artists are not in the same place as like the beauticians. Like, I don't understand why they don't all work in the same location. You should be able to go and get your hair done, then get your makeup done, and get your nails done, and then go on a date. Wait, you have to go home and change your clothes. But you get what I'm saying. Like, they all should be in the same place to be able to make it super duper convenient. I don't know, this is just the way my brain works. I just think that, convenience is king and somebody would pay for that. Next, not to skip over the makeup artist, but the makeup artist is pretty straightforward. They're putting makeup on you, they're making you look better, they're improving your natural beauty with the use of makeup. They are probably also teaching you things, which is probably something that I should have discussed. What we see online these days are a lot of people who are amateur makeup artists, which is fine. Only thing that you need online is skill. And sometimes people don't even have that. But what they're looking for is to be able to give information with the skills that they have without necessarily having to go to school in order to receive a license to be able to legally apply makeup for people for a fee. But little known fact, there's even makeup stores that require the person to have a full cosmetology license in order to work at the store. So there's levels to it, and there's reasons why people require these things from the candidate, and it's surely to make sure that everyone is safe. But when you're working online, because you're not actually having an interaction with a person, you can teach people techniques, you can sell them classes, etc., because there's no actual touching to another individual without licensing. So that might be a way to go for a person who has the skills, but they don't necessarily have the licensing, and maybe that's not their, forte. Same thing with a nail tech. We'll see a lot of people who have nail skills. They might know how to do designs really well. They might have different techniques that they've mastered, but instead of going through the licensing, even some people who have licenses have just decided that it's easier for them to show their techniques online, sell classes, etc., rather than to deal with the public on a day-to-day basis. All this is dependent upon what works for you. What kind of personality do you have? Do you want to deal with people on a day-to-day basis? Do you want your sales to be based on the local environment, etc.? You just have to figure out what it is that you want. But today, all we're talking about is just like careers in the beauty business, because there are lots. So next, we're going to talk about my best friends. My best friends are the masseurs. Yes, getting a massage. There's nothing better than to go on a nice vacation in a very nice hotel and to get the full package that has the massage with the manicure and the pedicure, and then feel very relaxed in order to enjoy the remaining parts of your vacation. I mean, like, if the hotel doesn't have a spa in it, what are they doing? Right? So those people have been licensed. Those people have been trained on how to impact your overall wellness without hurting you. And that's the thing. A lot of these different massage techniques require deep tissue movements or manipulation. And if you're not trained properly, you could do it wrong. You could really hurt somebody. This is definitely in the realm of things that make you feel beautiful. If you want to take care of your skin, which is our largest organ, then you'll need someone that knows about the skin, but another person that knows about the skin is actually the masseur. Maybe someone wouldn't consider this part of the beauty business, but actually when you want to feel beautiful all over, when you want to take care of yourself on the external all over, having a massage, being able to reduce yourself of stress, being able to have all of those things together make you feel good in a package, then it's a career that you can have that really can impact people. So yes, the next career in the beauty business is the masseur. So let's see, we talked about hair, we talked about nails, we talked about makeup, we talked about skin. Oh, skin, the esthetician. How are we gonna go to the spa without an esthetician? Come on. Yeah, we gotta get the esthetician. That esthetician has got to get this skin right. I'm gonna have to find one because I gotta get this skin right. So yes, an esthetician. An esthetician without proper training can do you dirty. That is facts. So if you're going to an esthetician, which is the person whose responsibility it is to improve your skin, then they can use sharp objects, steam, different chemicals, scrubs, rubs, heat, cold, all those things on your skin. And if it's not done properly, they can have very dire consequences for the individual. But on the contrary, if done correctly on a consistent basis, your skin can have a much better texture, overall feel, moisturization level, all of those things with a proper care from a well-trained esthetician. So, of course, the next career that we just spoke about in the beauty business is a great esthetician. All right, so last but not least, I want to talk about some careers that people can get into that are going to be helpful in a lot of these different businesses. I talked about things in general that people know about, right? People know about esthetician, people know about nail techs, people know about cosmetologists that do hair and barbers and all these kinds of things. But some of the unsung heroes that I employ are some of the people who make doing work in those businesses easier. So we run customer service for people in the beauty business. We take telephone calls for them. We can even help get your website set up so that you can take appointments. We can help set up your website to where you can sell products. We can help take care of majority of the things that you need done except for actually doing the service. And this is the reason why Phresh Phactory is in business, is because what we can do is to help alleviate a lot of stress from different companies and different businesses in a way that allows those professionals to focus on what they're good at. If you are good at this thing, then we can take care of all the other things that will help the business move forward so that you can focus on whatever that is. So in this case, if you're in the beauty business, you can take care of your client, and we can take care of, the bookings and the scheduling and making sure that your website looks good and it's up to date and that the products are counted, etc. So if you're interested in working with Phresh Phactory and you have a beauty business, please feel free to give us a call, email, smoke signal, dove, carrier pigeon. But I'm sure the website will be on the bottom of the screen here, www.freshphactory.com. Please click the top and say schedule an appointment. Make sure you put in the time and the date and hit submit so that we can actually receive your inquiry, and we'd be glad to give you 30 minutes of our time to talk about whatever it is that you need so we can figure out a game plan going forward. I really love doing this show, you guys. There's so many parts to every career, and there's so many different career genres to discuss. I plan on doing this show for a very long time, but it's just a matter of how can you participate? Like, what is it that you can be doing that you would really love that doesn't really feel like work? I'm standing up here talking about all the things that I have interest in, things that I have experience in, and it doesn't feel like work. Like, yes, putting on clothes and, making myself look decent to stand in front of the camera. Yes, this is a chore. But the content itself is like something that I would do normally. I have been a part of almost everyone's career that I know, whether it was helping them getting them guided in the correct direction, studying with them, finding the proper program, finding the books, whatever the case may be. It's like this has always been something that I was interested in, and I get a little bit out of every interaction with someone's career that I have, I get a little bit of something out of all of my interactions with people's careers. Right there. It also works in the business end. Every business that I interact with, I'm able to have some level of improvement with because of all the experiences that I've had. Plus, on top of that, as I tell you all the time, if you ever watch any of these episodes, I've had a bunch of careers of my own in different realms. So I just have all of this information that I'm just super happy to give. So now I have a platform in order to do it, and I can let people know that my business and the great associates that we have there are in a position to be able to help you do more with what you have. So again, thank you so much for coming to the show. Catch it every Sunday. This is Kira of All Trades on Phresh Phactory TV. You can see it on YouTube, Amazon Fire TV, Brick TV in Brooklyn, Houston Public Television. You can just catch it all over the place. The main thing is, if there's something in it for you, go to the website www.freshfactory.com and make sure to participate by either booking I guess you could book an interview, a consultation. If you just want to see stuff that's related to the show itself, you can go to www.freshfactory.tv and you can see all the episodes. You can see all the documents that go with this. It gives you a little bit of information about things we talk about in all of these episodes. And if you got anything from it, leave a comment, send us an email, say something. Let us know that you have seen something that will be beneficial in your life. That's all I need. And then I can continue to make these episodes. I'm still going to make these episodes anyway, but I just would like to know if you received any benefit from it. Anyway, this is Kira of All Trades on Phresh Phactory TV. Today was Careers in the Beauty Business, and I am signing out. Bye.